Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the New Jersey Film Festival Fall 2021 Q&A session with filmmakers that are participating in our festival. And today we have a wonderful filmmaker who's made a really impressive short documentary, and she's going to be talking about her film in a minute or so. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our festival, which is coming up. It's actually the 40th anniversary of the New Jersey Film Festival, and I founded the festival back in 1982 as a graduate student at Rutgers University. And now that I'm teaching there as a professor, it's now going 40 years strong, so we're very proud of that. And we have, unfortunately, have to do the festival as a hybrid festival for the 40th anniversary, at least the first part, because of the COVID pandemic. So we plan on doing live screenings at reduced capacity, and patrons will have to wear face coverings at the screening. And if that's not your scene and you're worried about the virus, then you certainly can watch it online. And the online version will be available for the entire day of the screening of a particular film program. And then the live screening will only take place at one time, which is at 7 p.m. at Rutgers University in our state-of-the-art facility, Voorhees Hall, room 105, which is located on the College Avenue campus. And it's at 71 Hamilton Street in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I'll be showing you how to purchase tickets and stuff like that at the end of our Q&A. But today we have Asali Eckles. She's the director of Lion on the Mat, which is a wonderful documentary about a woman who's facing all sorts of challenges that are, very timely, about immigrants trying to make their way into the United States and assimilate to American society. And Asali, this project, was it a student project?
Yes, it was. It was actually my thesis film at San Francisco State's MFA filmmaking program.
Wonderful. I know what the MFA is all about. It's a lot of challenges, and yet at the same time, when you're done, it's a huge relief. And
Yeah.
your film was a wonderful film, is a wonderful film, and we'll be screening that actually on the last day of the competition part of our festival on October 8th. So tell us, how did you end up meeting this very interesting person?
That's an interesting story. I was actually planning to make a narrative film for my thesis project, but then at a party over the summer, just a little 4th of July party in my friend's backyard, I happened to be sitting next to Mai, and we just started talking, and I was thinking, wow, she's a very interesting person. And I don't know, I was just very and she was very open and was telling me about her life, and I was very captivated by her story. But of course, that wasn't the beginning. Then she found out that I was a runner, and she was training to, her cardio. She wanted her cardio better for Jiu Jitsu. So she said, can you please take me running? I'm so bad at running. So I said, okay. So we started out trying to run around Lake Merritt in Oakland, which is a 3-mile run. And she could barely make it half a mile. We would go half a mile, she'd stop, we'd walk. But we kept running every few days together, and she got better very quickly. And as we ran together, I don't know if you all have running friends or people you exercise with, but something about, doing that, it creates an intimacy in terms of what you could talk about. You're running for 5 miles, and I don't know, somehow being out there and being active, it sort of lowers the barriers that you might find in other social interactions. And so we became super close very quickly, and she told me more about her life, and I just found her perspective on life so inspiring, not in a cheesy way, but just, I don't know, she just had this amazing grit that I'd never really seen in anybody else. And I just felt drawn to make this movie. But of course, I didn't want to be weird about it. That's an odd ask of a new friend. Can I make a documentary about you? So I basically said, look, I think your story is very interesting. Would you be okay if we made this film? And I want it to be collaborative. I don't want me to make a movie about you. I want you to help tell your story. I have this medium of film that I can employ, but I want it to be collaborative. And she was very open to this. She thought, maybe my story could be inspiring to other women, other immigrants, other people like me. So anyways, we started making the film, and it took a year and a half or so, and it was really a neat experience.
Yeah, Mai Nguyen, I guess Nguyen is the way you pronounce the Vietnamese
Yeah.
last name.
Yep.
She's obviously a person that, you know, as a fellow runner, I know what it's like when you bond with people as you're running. And yet at the same time, it's a challenge to kind of open up about very personal things. But you get the sense that she wanted very much to tell her story about her first marriage, about
Hmm.
the trials and tribulations of coming to this country, and also how she learned to do jujitsu, because I mean, I guess that's the way the title comes into play, because she's the lion on the mat, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. No, she was very open. She, even though she's had a lot of difficult experiences, she wasn't hiding anything. She felt like telling it was part of both how she was healing and also, an example for other people.
right, she's a fighter, and I think the fact that she learns this martial art is a way to see what's working inside of her, a person who's not going to just lay down and be abused or, you know, knocked down by the system.
Yeah.
She's a fighter, and she's somebody who wants to serve as a role model for other young people, and then she's also a single mom now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that having to juggle all of these things is a perfect example of what many single moms have to do throughout the country.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
was that something that you wanted to hone in on when you decided to make the film, or is that something that came about as more of her story unfolded?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think I kind of started to understand all of it together because, we'd be running and then she'd be like, oh, I have to leave and pick up Benji from school. And, I started to see, wow, her life is put together in this crazy puzzle piece, but she's structured it because so that she can spend most of her time doing jujitsu, which is the thing she loves. And that I found inspiring just as a person who tries to do anything that isn't necessarily, a 9 to 5 job, just like how can you structure your life so that you can pursue your passion, which in this modern world is not an easy thing to do. So, yeah, I was impressed by that.
And did you get any difficulty in terms of, you know, shooting at the jujitsu um, championships, and or you know, the meets that they had? Did you have to get releases and stuff like that for those scenes?
Yeah,
Or,
I mean, I was so impressed. The jujitsu community was so friendly and kind. The when we went and shot at her jujitsu studio, the guy was super excited that we were making this film, and everyone was totally happy to be in it. I got releases from the women who were, shot in close up with her, but everyone else had signed releases just to be there. And same with the competition. And the competition was amazing because I was there filming, but then there was this Brazilian guy with a steady cam who was running around on the mat shooting. And, I was like, oh my God, that's the shot I want, but I'm not allowed to be on the mat. And so I just found him afterwards and told him what I was doing. And he was like, oh, awesome. You can have my footage of my, sure. And he just sent it to me. I mean, these are the people in the jujitsu community. It's a very, very warm and welcoming community.
that's awesome, and I think that probably made your life a lot easier as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
has she been able to kind of excel now in jujitsu? I mean, you would think that, okay, has she won?
Oh yeah.
We don't want to tell too much about your documentary to give away some of the suspense, but is
Right.
she excelling now even more so than she did in the film?
Yeah, so her life is, I mean, like all of us, the pandemic sort of threw a wrench in a lot of the training.
Yeah.
We actually, during the pandemic, she couldn't do jujitsu for the first, I don't know, 6 or 7 months, when things are really
Gyms are
locked
closed.
down.
Yeah.
And she was doing a lot more running then. We were running like 7 or 8 miles a day together
Mm.
because that was all she could do. And she actually got a weighted dummy, which is what a lot of jujitsu people use when you can't practice with a real human.
Yeah.
So she was still trying to maintain her training, but it was difficult.
Yeah.
But then the gyms have reopened. She's found a new gym, which she likes even better than her old gym. And she just won in June in Alameda an open weight championship, which
Wow.
is amazing because that means she's competing with women who are much, much bigger than her. She tends to be the smallest one
Yeah.
in the competition. So she won this, which is awesome.
Yeah,
she was
very
really excited. And so, yeah, I guess next she'll be competing in something in October. And, you know, she just wants to keep competing and going as far as she can with it. She's still completely motivated and focused.
She's a very inspiring person. And my question to you is now, what's next for you?
That's a good question. Um, I'm actually teaching this semester at San Francisco State. I'm teaching film production, so that's fun. But I have a few projects brewing. One is about, I may have a type. I met during the pandemic a woman who makes pies in El Cerrito, who was a math major and has now shifted her focus to pies and is really interested in the organic food systems and sort of local community through pie, which we'll see if this turns out, but I think it could be a fun short story.
Well,
And then,
make sure you send it to us. And it sounds like you might have an omnibus type of documentary where you could do these portraits of very interesting women.
yes,
I mean, we don't get enough of that. I think you know, the stories that we get are, I mean, we need to empower women more. And I think movies like yours do that. And we got a very interesting documentary we're showing called The Dirt Whisperer, which is about a couple that are part of corporate America, but they're really into homesteading and,
oh,
you know, making their own food. And
cool.
it's a very uplifting film that kind of reminds me of this nice person who's moved on from doing math to making organic pies. So, well, great.
Yeah,
I mean, I look forward to seeing your new work. Please do send it to us.
definitely.
And folks, let me just share screen a second so I can show people how to do this. All right, so we click on this button and then on this one, and this is okay. This is the very first thing that you would see when you clicked on our website, which is njfilmfest.com. You don't need to see my cats. And then when you get to the homepage, by the way, this is all going to change very soon. This very old funky, as my webmaster has said, is bloated with HTML because I wanted to keep the website a little bit funky over the years because this way it could be easily managed. We now have one of our interns as a webmaster and he's redesigned this site. So it's going to look a lot different probably by the time folks are actually watching this Q&A, but it'll ultimately look somewhat the same. It just will have a slicker look. You will click on this section which says schedule. And normally, I guess he's already working on it. Well, when he's working on it, you will end up, that's embarrassing. You will end up clicking on, let's see if I can find it for us very quick. Okay, this is not what we wanted, but it's close. And this is people who have already bought tickets, and this is what you're going to end up seeing. You're going to get to our welcome page. When you would click on that button, you would click on another button that would send you here. And tickets is the main site where you will find everything listed. And The Lion on the Mat is part of a program of films by or about women. And this is the feature film, When the Music Changes, that we'll be screening. I was hoping to have Amy French on, but she had a family issue that she had to deal with and could not be with our Q&A. This is Jacob Rodier's film. It's a very sweet movie. And here's yours, and there's Mai, so we can see what she looks like. So if you're interested, you just hit the pre-order button, and then you can purchase tickets that way. You should also explore our site. Hit the Back to the Festival site, and the schedule is all listed in linear form, so you can just scroll down and see everything with big pictures and big text, so you can read about the movies. If you want to read about each individual film, you go to the film guide. And so if you want to read about Lion on the Mat, you would click on this, and you see another picture of Mai as she's doing weight training. And that's basically it. That's how you would be able to find information about our festival. And again, you go to njfilmfest.com, you click on where it says Fall 2021 schedule for the New Jersey Film Festival, and then there'll be another link that you'll have to click on that'll send you to our Eventive page. Because remember, we're now a hybrid festival, and you have to buy your tickets at that site for either way, if you're going to do it online or if you're going to do it live. So normally we would have had maybe Asali come to the East Coast from California and joined us, but unfortunately we can't do that. So this is the next best thing. And this way you have a little bit of a Q&A available to folks. So thank you so much, Asali, for joining us. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
meeting you and showing your movie to our audience. And I'm hoping that you will send us any new work. I really am.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having me. It's been great to speak with you, and I look forward to seeing all the movies.
Thanks, Asali.